Hello, I love the look of chenille embroidery and I was wondering if there was some way I could accomplish this type of sewing on my vintage Treadle sewing machine. With a lot of experimenting, I was finally able to sew this chenille stitch. You could probably do this on an electric machine also, although I have not tested that yet. I just want to make it really clear that this video will show you how I did it, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do the same thing on your machine. The method you take may be entirely different, as you will see why at the end of this video. I can't guarantee that you will be able to accomplish the chenille embroidery on your machine, but this video will give you an idea of how you could make it work on your machine. I will explain fully how I did it at the end of the video, but in the meantime you can watch the progression of my flowers in the chenille embroidery. I use two strands of thread while sewing the chenille stitch. One of them I call my base color, and the other one is the color that will actually be the chenille stitches. I chose the orange as my base color, and I will leave the base color the same while I do the flowers. I will only change the color that will be my chenille stitch. I chose colors that blend well together, such as the red blends well with orange as does the yellow. Put your thread on 2 different thread stands and run the thread up and around the spool holder on your machine. I put a spool of thread on top of the spool holder, which keeps the 2 strands of thread flowing smoothly. Next, thread the color you have chosen as your base color the same way you would normally thread your machine, and loosen your top tension just a bit as you would for embroidery. Now here is the part where you may need to be a little creative and do a little modification. The second strand of thread cannot go through the tension guide, but must be free to move freely, but still go through some of the rest of the regular threading guides on your machine. As you can see from the picture, you will need some sort of apparatus or something to run your thread through other than the tension guide to keep it flowing smoothly. I used a tension spring from an old parts sewing machine for this and just stuck it on the end of the tension guide on my machine. I did not run the second colors through the tension guide nor the little tension wire guide, but only through the thread take-up that would be threaded after the tension assembly as you would normally thread your machine. Then run it down through the rest of the guides and thread your needle. You will need a larger needle as both strands of thread will go through the needle. I used a size 16. You may need to play around with your machine a little bit and experiment, but as you can see, chenille on a Treadle straight stitch sewing machine or any machine obviously is possible. Have fun and good luck!